Hello guys, today is Friday, October 27, 2023. Greg Marino back with another video. All glory to God and Jesus Christ. I want to talk about dating. And I have a little time here. And so I figured I'd bring this into it because I'm going through it right now, just like you guys. And I'm actually on my way to a date. And I'm going to tell you, for your chosen ones out there, for the people that are set apart, how difficult dating is in 2023. It's only going to get worse in 2024. And there's a couple general rules of thumb that you have to go off of that I try to apply with my dates. Obviously, I was in a season of isolation the whole summer. Didn't have one date, wasn't on any dating apps, wasn't looking to date, was just trying to get close with God. Would have been nice to have somebody, but I didn't. And then all of a sudden fall started, and September I started to have a bunch of dates, right? And I was going out on these dates, and I want to share with you, I had mentioned this in a previous video, so I'm going to share with you what happens on these dates for me. And maybe you guys can relate to this, maybe you can get some knowledge from it. So all these dates were online dates. I try to stay away from it. I did a video, online dating 2023. It's extremely toxic, but you know, we go through, we battle our flesh, we get lonely, I get lonely. I'm not above anything that you guys are going through. I go through it. I try to stay off it as much as possible. I never stay on the dating app for more than a week. That's my rule. Normally it's like 5 days. And if I don't meet anybody in 5 days, I just chalk it up to God not wanting me to meet anybody. But when you go out on these dates, and I went out on a few, it's amazing when you test the spirit, what you find out. And one of the dates, ironically, was engaged to my high school best friend. and I found out on the date, she just broke off the engagement, and they're still kind of like talking, and he reached out to me 2 weeks after the date, which means that she told him to get him jealous. But I mean, what are the chances of that, right? Anyway. Another one of the dates was a girl who was supposedly in the truth. I don't want to talk to you about this date. I didn't want to mention it like the week after, but I had to because I think you guys are going to run into this. So, it's crazy. I don't know if I should tell all. I'm not going to tell all her information, but let me just say this, because I'm not a talebearer. So you're going to get people out there that, because they did a little bit of research, think they're in the know. And this particular person was like, you know, I think she was going down the Q road, Trump, ivermectin's good. She swore by it. That's a psyop. Ivermectin is an antibiotic. It's no different than all the other garbage. The paste, the horse paste, and all that stuff. It's not created by God. We don't need it. Don't buy into the medical industry, because what that does is it gives legitimacy to medicine, right? Pharmakia, witchcraft. I talked about that in my video 64. But her and I connected on a very deep level because she knew a lot of things, and it got me excited. She was a stunningly beautiful girl. But that doesn't do it for me anymore. I can care less. I'd rather you be in the know, connected to Jesus Christ, fearing God, and be, you know, attractive, but nothing like crazy. I'd fall deeply for that person more so than you're stunningly beautiful and you're a headache to me, and you got the demonic religious spirit in you, or you got the spirit of Jezebel, or you know, you're somebody who thinks you're going to teach a man, right? There's a lot of women out there, they want to rule over men, so they want to teach you, right? I always bring up 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 12. I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over a man, but to be in silence. And it's very difficult for these women to grasp their role, right? But as men, especially alpha men, set apart, God-fearing, trying to follow the 10 commandments, battle flesh, but trying to do the right thing, we got to keep these women in check, right? And they actually appreciate us for that. They resent us when we don't do that, right? when we're betas pretending to be alphas. These women actually have subliminal resentment towards us. But anyway, going back to this particular girl, we had like a 3-hour conversation, and I'm like, that's it. This is my girl, right? Like, this is a woman in the know. She knows the truth. She's stunningly beautiful. She's got some flaws about her, but I can work on that. I mean, you're not going to get, 100% perfect. It's just not going to be that way. And I was really excited to the date. We had a phenomenal date, great dinner. We had nice, we had a couple glasses of wine. I was totally sober. And then I wanted to go dancing. She didn't want to do that. She wanted to continue to drink, which is a red flag for me. But nevertheless, I was like, all right, she's having a good time. We're talking about like where, because she lived far from me, if she was gonna like move in with me, or we're talking about family, kids, all this stuff, right? And I want to help you guys out there, especially you chosen ones out there. They're gonna get these women that are gonna come at you with all these amazing things. You just test the spirit. I know all the stuff that they're telling you is everything you've ever wanted to hear, and this girl's packaged in this presentation of this, beautiful girl in phenomenal shape, wants to devote her whole life to you, claims to be of Jesus Christ, right? She had a little bit of the religious spirit, so she was going to church on the weekend. But the big problem was when we talked about once saved, always saved. And I want to tell you guys out there, I want to warn you, when you're getting this woman who's almost too good to be true, and she's pitching, well, I was saved by Jesus Christ at a certain day, on a certain time, during a certain event, and Jesus came and he saved me, and I'm a shoo-in to get into heaven. Okay, be very careful when you're dealing with this woman. Okay, I'm going to tell you who this woman is, right? We're all out there trying to find our Proverbs 31 woman, and this woman is actually indoctrinated by her pastor. Her pastor is teaching her this doctrine, this false doctrine of man, which goes in direct conflict with the doctrine of God via the Bible. And the pastor's telling her, yeah, don't worry about it. Jesus, God and Jesus, they're love, and they love you, and you can do whatever you want. You can continue to sin. You're a shoo-in to go to heaven, right? So I'm not going to tell you what she was involved with, but it was something that I did not accept, and nor would anybody, for that matter, just so you know. And I told her, I said, listen, if we're gonna date, you gotta stop that, right? Like, you can't be continuing to do that. And when I said that to her, that was me questioning her salvation. And her pastor has already reinforced this false doctrine that no matter what she does, she's a shoo-in to get into heaven, okay? So here I am. Again, Galatians chapter 4, verse 16. Am I therefore your enemy because I tell you the truth? So here I am telling her the truth. We're talking about, having this great date, kissing, holding hands, talking about future. Everything was great. We're having a phenomenal time. I want to go dance. I want to have fun. I've been out in a while, right? So I wanted to go dancing. She wants to drink and talk about her salvation. And I tell you this because I want to help you chosen ones out there, because I know, I'm a little bit more advanced than most of the people that I'm bringing to my website in this journey. And even though I gave my life to God and Jesus Christ 3 years ago, and I'm on the 4th time reading the Bible cover to cover, I've been through a lot in these 3 years. And God has put me on an accelerated pace. This way I can be an educator of you, so I can help you with what you can anticipate to have to go through. So this way you feel like you're not alone, right? That you're not isolated in this journey, because this is a battle every day. And the Bible tells us we don't battle against flesh and blood. We battle against spiritual wickedness in high places, right? Principalities. We don't battle in this carnal world. We battle in the spirit world, okay? So when I'm out there and I'm talking to these women, I'm talking to them because I'm testing that spirit. I want to know, am I dealing with a demon that modern day world labels as narcissist? I see all these narcissist videos on YouTube, and it's unbelievable how many views they get if they're legitimate, which most of them probably aren't, but it's people that are suffering out there, and they're trying to figure out why they're going through this pain. And Satan's school of psychology has done a good job labeling this demonic presence that's inside these people as narcissism, right? So Satan was the first narcissist, right? But it's just really basically a word describing the qualities of the demon that are controlling these people. And very few people on YouTube are going to talk about the spiritual element to narcissism, but these people are evil, okay? They're never going to change. You bringing to the light that they suffer from this demonic narcissistic spirit is not going to cause them to want to get closer to you. It's going to cause them to attack you. They're never changing. It's a cycle with them. They're feeding off your energy. You are the light. If you're a chosen one, you're a light. We're all the lights of the world. Without our light, this world would be in darkness. So what they're doing is they're in essence feeding off of our light, right? And the whole game with them is just manipulation, right? They never loved you. It's just all to lure you in so they can feed off you, to get you to believe that they love you, because that's their goal, right? So I'm talking to this girl, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on with her. And obviously they call hard liquor spirits, and she's drinking some hard liquor at this point. And the spirit is indwelling in her. The spirit's coming out, basically. The spirit is there. It's dormant in the beginning of the dinner because she's trying to lure me in. She's talking about having my kids and on the first date, right? And everything I want to hear, and Jesus Christ and the truth. And I try not to talk about a lot of the truth on a date, especially a first date. I just want to get to know the person, right? Like, we can get to that. And especially with her situation, she was aware of a lot of stuff. And I have to give her credit. I've been on dates with women in the last 3 years. She knew more than any of them. She was really aware of a lot of things. She was deceived. She needed my help on a couple of topics, but she knew a lot. And I give her credit for that, because that's indicative of her research, right? And she had lost her mother to the medical industry. I lost my dad, right? So we had that in common. She just lost her mother. So we were kind of there to console each other. It was really seeming to be like what God, because I'm praying for it, right? Like, I want to meet my queen, what God had gifted me, right? That's what it was, right? You guys out there that are praying, hey, God, can you give me my Proverbs 31 woman? I want to meet my queen so I can build my kingdom. You guys out there that are doing that, you really got to test the spirit, because you may see somebody that comes to you in this journey that is under the illusion of light that you think is sent from God. And if you don't test that spirit, you're never going to figure out, is this person really sent from God, or is this another attack by Satan? And again, I tell you, Satan can use anybody who's not truly connected to God. And that includes the people that are telling you they love Jesus Christ and going to church, right? That means nothing. And I proved that in all my videos. I proved that in Who's Really Running Your Church video number 49 on my website. But with that said, when she felt that I was attacking the one premise that was causing her to keep, it was like the glue that was holding everything together in her world, because she was actually contributing to evil on a daily basis. She knew it, but she did something that I think a lot of people do, which is self-rationalize, right? And so people do that because they want to be able to sleep at night. So they self-rationalize the ludicrousy of their behavior. This way it doesn't weigh on their conscience. And they can still continue to go about this world under the illusion that they're a good person. And ultimately, in her case, that they're getting into heaven, right? And that Jesus Christ loves her. And I always tell people this, right? Like, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I never will. I'm going to tell you the truth, right? When I tell people the truth, automatically they default to me judging them. I'm not judging you. I'm telling you the truth, right? I'm not going to lie to you and tell you what you want to hear and allow you to continue to destroy yourself. I love you too much for that. So I'm going to tell you the truth and let the chips fall where they may. In this particular case, she went off on such a tirade. I didn't last maybe 2 minutes listening to her. I picked up my jacket. She goes, oh, you're leaving now? Everything you said was a lie. If you're going to leave the first time we have a problem. I said, no, I'm not leaving the first time we have a problem. I'm leaving because you are making it abundantly clear to me that no matter how much I want to help you, you already know what you need to do. You don't need my help. And for that reason, there's no chance for us to be together. You're beyond the scope of my help. You got it all figured out. So you just keep figuring it out. I wish you the best of luck with that. I shook her hand and I walked out. And let me tell you guys, if you go back to the 2020 or the pre-2020, the 2019 version of myself, I would have never left that girl. No way. We had such a good date at that point. We were vibing. We had such amazing chemistry. She was so beautiful. She was telling me everything she wanted me, what I wanted to hear. There was no way. Even though she went a little crazy right there, I would have made a joke, and I would have transitioned it, which I'm really good at, into something positive. And then I would have, took her to the club, and we would have went dancing. We would have started dating. I tell you that because as soon as you test that spirit, okay, you got to understand that what you're seeing it because God is protecting you. God loves you. He knows the path down that road with that person leads to destruction. He doesn't want you to be destroyed. You are too important to him. Your purpose here on earth is too important to him. You got a job to do. And he wants you to be able to stay close to him and focus on that purpose. So he's going to save you from that by showing you. Now, the problem with that, goes back to the story with Samson and Delilah. The problem with that is God shows people, but he also gives us a gift, and that gift is called free will. Even though through the Holy Spirit and the signs of God, God makes it abundantly clear, and we all know it, especially the ones that are chosen, right? The ones that are set apart, pursuing God. We know it through our knowledge, wisdom, and discernment that what we're seeing here is a sign from God to keep it moving. That this person is not right for us. But we ignore it because we battle our flesh. Each and every day we battle our flesh, right? So I left. I drove home late at night. It was a long ride. I got home. Never heard from the girl. I've never called her. She's never called me. Okay? The moral to the story is the reason why these people never think to call you, despite the fact that you had this amazing connection, even though things soured at the end, is because God is putting a spirit in them to not call you. You passed the test. You walked away. Now you're moving on to the next person. And I share that with you because as chosen ones, you're going to realize that relationships that would take you months to figure out, you'll learn on the first date. You'll know right away this person isn't for you, right? Now I want to get to another example. So that ended, and I was like, you get crushed, even though you're paying attention to the signals of God, right? And you had high expectations, you set yourself up for disappointment. You still feel like, oh man, like I really wanted that to work. Like that was a good person. And so after that experience, I had another experience with somebody that I knew right off the bat, okay? Was again, not in alignment, just the way that she was living her life, not in alignment with my long-term goals, right? But another, very attractive, extreme chemistry, phenomenal date. This one, we did go dancing and had a great time dancing. I hadn't been dancing in a while, so that really made me feel good. And telling me all the things that I want to hear. Well, I left that date, and the Holy Spirit put it in me to just end it. And it came out of left field for the girl because she was like, what are you talking about? Like, we had phenomenal connection, but I'm like, listen, I just, there's a lot of things about the way I live my life, and, I brought her to my website, what she does for a living, she vapes, which I don't agree with, all the stuff, right? There was a lot of things. I'm not going to get into all her personal stuff, but the bottom line was I just didn't see us being in alignment long term, but I cared about her, right? Anyway, she shows up at my house. And the reason I share that with you is because I spoke about this in a previous video, and I'm not saying she's wicked. She's a sweet girl, beautiful girl. I care about her. I just think that because of all the things that she's involved with, she's not as connected to God as possible, and Satan can use her. And and the Bible talks about this, the wicked can't sleep at night until they create mischief, right? Mischief in somebody's life. And has a hard time sleeping, and a lot of times when you're sent to somebody, which I happen to feel this person was sent to me, and they don't accomplish their mission, there's repercussions to them not successfully accomplishing their mission. And their mission is to cause me to totally get disconnected to God and get off my purpose, right? Because God has a purpose for me, and he has a job for me to do here. And you know, these beautiful women are sent my way to get me to backslide. So I focus on them, and I replace God with them, right? And ultimately that's what Satan's trying to get me to do. And I know, I'm aware of it, right? And he knows my weakness as women. Anyway, one of the things they're going to do is they're going to make you feel very guilty. And this demonic narcissistic spirit, what it likes to do is it likes to twist and project. So it'll twist the story, and then it will project onto you the same issues that they are guilty of, and accuse you of being guilty of those issues. And she was doing that, and I saw it. And she was going through a hard time, and she showed up to my house. You know, she drove. She doesn't live close to my house. She showed up to my house, and she was hurting. And being an empath, and this is difficult for people out there, and I want you guys to understand this, we can't hurt people. It's not in our DNA to do that. These people that have this demonic narcissistic spirit, their whole goal, they feed off of our pain. The more they see you hurt and down and out, the better they feel, right? When they check up on you, if let's say they're not with you and they see you're not doing well, man, they're in their glory, right? Like they're feeling great about themselves, because in their mind, you're convincing them that the only way they feel good is when you're with them. So you're not with them right now. That's why you're feeling bad. So they're like, oh, it was the best thing in that person's life, right? But they also, what they like to do is they like to prey on your kindness, right? And as empaths, people that are set apart, we're here to help. We're helpers. We feel. We want to make people feel better. We feel their pain, right? And so she's playing on that, and I don't want to abandon people. And I also know that there's certain people that I can't cast what's holy onto the dogs, can't cast my pearls on the swine, right? And there's also people that are right on the borderline. And there's some people that, if you're not really astute in this journey and you don't have a high level of discernment, there's some people that, others might throw away thinking that God has sent them strong illusion, but they're right on the cusp, right? And I believe that this girl was right on the cusp. And I said, okay, you know what, God, I'm going to allow you to show me who she's about. I'm going to try to pursue this to help her. And I went into it with righteous intent, and she perceived that as me being weak for her. And so we went on this, 10 days, 2 weeks kind of a relationship, seeing each other every other day. And we really connected. But what I was able to observe there is that there's no way I can create a future with this person. And slowly but surely, a lot of the verbiage that this person was using to me, I have heard multiple times from multiple women on this journey, almost verbatim. And I share that with you because I think that there's actually a script out there that these demons all follow, right? When they're dealing with people that are God-fearing and set apart, where they want to try to get you to backslide, where they want to get you disconnected from God. They literally follow a script, because all these girls, and it's like 3 of them that I'm actually referencing, maybe 4 actually, that said the same thing to me. Same exact thing. They don't know each other. They've never spoken. And it's all centered around like, I love you. I want to have your kids. I want to move in with you. You're my everything. You're amazing. You know, they're always trying to get you to be intimate with them. You know, they want to get you off that semen retention. You know, and you know, we're battling our flesh. We're weak. It's tough. I get it, guys. I know it's hard out there. I never criticize guys for that, right? Like, you know, you can stop the masturbation. You have to stop watching porn. But I get it with the women, right? Because, you know, we all want that. We all want that queen that we want to be with, but we have to be very selective at who we choose to be intimate with, because we're creating these soul ties with these women that have demons in them. And when you're strong in this battle, like all you chosen ones are out there, like myself, right? You can overcome these demons. It's not that hard, right? Like for me, when I move on past these demons, I already know what it is. It's a spiritual world. It's simple for me now at this point, because I have that knowledge, right? That knowledge and that wisdom is power. God gives you that as a gift for all the sacrifices you're making for the kingdom of heaven. But I'll share with you this, guys, okay? And as I'm on my way to a date with somebody new, who I like, but who knows, right? Like, could be anything at this point, right? She's not too aware of the truth. Just whatever you put out there in this world, you get back. And if you're putting out into the universe that I want to find my queen, I want to start a family, I'm not looking to sleep with people, I'm looking to get to know people, I'm devoted, I'm loyal, I'm loving, I know how to honor, love, respect, lead, protect my wife, I fear God, He'll always be the center of my universe. If you put that out there, you'll find that woman. But there's going to be a lot of counterfeits that are going to come your way. And you have to weed through those counterfeits by testing the spirit, using your discernment. And you have to do that on the first date. I'll do that tonight, right? This girl in particular that I'm going to see, she kind of knows what she's getting into. We've had some long conversations before the date, which normally I don't have like multiple day conversations. I try to see somebody right away to see if I can feel their energy in person. But this girl, she has a pretty good idea of what to expect with me. She might not know all that I know, and she might not know the truth, but she knows how important God and Jesus Christ are to me. And she seems to be very fond of that, right? But, you know, again, got to test the spirit. People talk a lot. They tickle ears. And I give these testimonies of my own personal life, not because I want to, like, reveal myself, because I'm, like, a real private guy, but because God has put me in a position to help people. And the best way I can help you is through the first-hand experiences I go through, to share with you mistakes that I've made to prevent you from having to make them. It's like a parent with their children. Not to say that I'm your parent or anything like that. I'm not trying to be condescending, but you know, you have to protect your kids by sharing with them what not to do based off the mistakes that you've made in your life, right? And I've made a bunch. I continue to make a bunch, right? I'm not perfect. I battle my flesh each and every day, but I learn from these experiences. I take that knowledge to the next person that I'm going to talk to. And I go into each opportunity with a clean slate. And I think it's important that you guys take that approach, because you can't have a negative outlook when you go out. I know how frustrating it is. I know how all these women are possessed. They're programmed. You know, a bunch of them have the Jezebel spirit. They don't even realize it. You got to call them out right away. And when you do call them out, it normally shuts down a relationship because it's way too soon for them to be called out. But, you know, if you can get a woman who's malleable and who's open to the truth, I think that's a better option than going to the churches and getting the women who are possessed with the demonic religious spirit, who think they know the truth. And I went out with a girl, this is over a month ago. I brought it to my website. Maybe you should watch this video. She's deceived on so many levels, and she's been going to church every week for years. And when I tried to correct her on things, she wanted to debate with me. She has that debating spirit. She wanted to, you know, prove with her scripture, and you don't want that kind of girl, right? That girl's a headache. That girl thinks she can teach you because she's been going to church longer than you, okay? That girl is a waste of your time. That girl is, all she's going to do is suck your energy. She's an energy vampire. She loves the church and her pastor so much. Let her have that in peace and just move on. You want to get to the narrow path, right? That girl's not going there. You want to get there. You want to try to bring a girl like that there, you're going to fight her because that girl's God is her pastor. It's not you, and it'll never be you. She'll never feel that she can learn from you because she thinks her pastor is smarter than you. She believes the pastor before the Bible, right? And so I think the ideal candidate is somebody who is not connected to an evil industry, who you know is good in their core but has been deceived, but is open to truth. Somebody that you can have good communication with, and that you can differ in beliefs, but she's willing to look into it because she craves truth. I think that's the ideal candidate. That's kind of the girl I'm going to see right now. So, and we'll see where it goes, right? Like, I may do a video a month from now and say, yeah, it didn't work out with this girl, but I have a good feeling about it, but I have a good feeling about all these dates. I wouldn't go on these dates if I didn't think that there was a chance with these girls, right? And so if I can leave you guys with one thing, I would say to you, when you're out there and you're dating, make sure you test that spirit on the first date. Don't get involved in seeing a girl a second time unless you know that there's a chance that you can create a future with that girl. And the only way they're going to know that is you got to ask the right questions. But you got to be strategic about it, right? You don't want to put these girls on interviews, right? Because you're never going to be able to vibe with them. But you got to know how to ask certain things in a certain way where you're able to determine what type of person they are, right? I'll give you a perfect example. What did the girl do during her, if she's been married or divorced, right? If you happen to be dating somebody like that, which ideally you shouldn't, but if you happen to, what did she do during the divorce, right? If she fought the husband tooth and nail for money and house and this and that, you could just see right off the bat that girl's all about vanity, material possession, right? Money. She's of this world, right? Friend of this world is an enemy to God. That girl's a friend of this world. But if that girl had a divorce and she just realized that she just wanted to get away from that guy because he was no good, and she just said, I don't care about what I get. I can care less if I get anything. I just want out, right? You got a shot with that girl, right? That's an example. That's one example. But, just ask questions like that. And find out what's going on with all the relationships. Why are they ending? If she's telling you that she's playing the victim in all these relationships, and it's always the guy who's the perpetrator, and she dated a narcissist guy, which we both know, or we all know now, is just a demonic spirit, and she was with him for 10 years. What she's basically telling you is she herself has a demonic narcissistic spirit in her, right? Because a narcissist is not going to date somebody who's not a narcissist. They're not going to stay with that person. They may date him for a little bit and realize, well, this person, I need somebody who's on my level with that, right? So it, again, goes back to the concept in this universe. You get back what you put out. So if you're putting out, hey, I got these narcissistic traits because I got a demon in me, you're going to attract another demon, right? So overall, guys, I understand if you're on these dating apps. I'll tell you, it's really bad. I would probably encourage you to just try to go out on the weekend. I know not a lot of people do that, right? I know it's so much easier with our busy schedules to just get on an app, start connecting with somebody, go on a date. But it's slim pickings, okay? I've met a lot of demons on these apps. These apps are ridden with demons. As a matter of fact, I would say Satan employs a lot of these women, these Jezebel women, in these apps to destroy us God-fearing men. And we got to really test the spirit. Test the spirit right away. Don't create any soul ties with these monsters. And just try to, I know it's hard. I've prayed on this to ask God to bring me my queen. Just try to wait on God as much as you could. If you find somebody through an app that you feel might potentially be sent by God, it could be, right? I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It's a possibility. And just continue in that relationship to focus, keep God the center, because our God is a very jealous God. And if we start hoisting up women and replacing God with that woman that we're dating, God's not going to like that, right? And I'm keeping that in mind right now. I'm saying that to you just to make sure that I don't make that mistake, right? Because I have in the past, before I was connected with God and Jesus Christ, I have done that. And I'm not going to do that again. So I love you guys. I hope you're able to learn something from this video. I hope that by sharing my testimonies, it helps you guys. So this way you can, possibly prevent yourself from making some of the mistakes that I've made in my life. and I continue to make recently. But I'm learning, right? I'm accruing knowledge and I'm learning. And it's real beneficial to this journey to have all this knowledge and wisdom, especially when it comes to dating, because it's vicious out there, right? So be careful, have fun, try not to drink too much, maybe do a little dancing, and we'll talk soon. Take care.